You sit in therapy and talk. Your therapist listens, asks questions, nods at the right moments, and somehow, by the end of the session, you've had breakthroughs you didn't see coming. You feel understood, heard, like you figured something out on your own. Except you didn't figure it out on your own. Your therapist was guiding you the entire time using specific techniques they learned in training. Techniques they use on you without explaining what they're doing or why it works. These aren't secrets because therapists are hiding them. They just know that if they explained every intervention while doing it, it would break the natural flow. But you can learn these techniques. You can use them on yourself and in your own conversations. And once you see them, you'll notice every good therapist doing them. Let me show you the secrets therapists use that actually create change. Secret 1. Strategic silence. When you finish talking, most people rush to fill the gap. They respond immediately. They give advice. They change the subject. Therapists don't. They let silence sit. Sometimes for 10, 20, 30 seconds. And in that silence, something happens. You keep talking, you go deeper. You say the thing you weren't planning to say. Because silence creates discomfort. And humans fill discomfort with truth. The longer the silence, the more likely you are to access what's actually going on beneath the surface answer. This works because your brain keeps processing even when you stop talking. The silence gives you space to hear your own thoughts, to notice what you actually feel instead of what you think you should say. Try this in conversations. When someone finishes talking, wait. Don't rush to respond. Count to 5. Watch them continue. Watch them go deeper without you saying a word. Secret 2. Reflective listening. That's slightly wrong. You say something. Your therapist repeats it back, but not exactly. They rephrase it in a way that's close, but not quite what you meant. And you correct them, and in correcting them, you clarify what you actually meant, often discovering something new in the process. This is called strategic misunderstanding. It's not accidental. It forces you to think more precisely about what you're saying, to examine your own words, to articulate the nuance you glossed over. When you're talking to someone and want them to go deeper, reflect back what they said with slight variation. So what I'm hearing is you're angry at your boss. They'll correct you. Well, not angry exactly. More like disappointed that he doesn't see my value. Now you've got the real feeling. Secret 3. The circular question. Instead of asking what you feel, therapists ask what someone else thinks you feel. What do you think your partner would say about how you're handling this? Or if your best friend were describing the situation, what would they say? This creates distance. It lets you observe yourself from outside your own experience. And from that outside perspective, you can see patterns and truths that are invisible when you're stuck inside your own head. Research shows that third-person perspective reduces emotional reactivity and increases insight. You're still talking about yourself, but the framing makes it feel less threatening, to be honest. Use this when you're stuck. Ask yourself what someone else would say about your situation. What would they notice that you're missing? Secret 4. The Socratic method disguised as curiosity. Therapists rarely tell you what to do. They ask questions that lead you to the conclusion yourself. What would happen if you set that boundary? What's the worst-case scenario? How have you handled similar situations before? They're not gathering information. They already know the answers. They're guiding you to discover what they already see. Because advice you give yourself is 10 times more powerful than advice someone gives you. When someone comes to you with a problem, resist the urge to solve it. Ask questions instead. Let them solve it themselves with you as the guide. Secret 5. Normalizing without minimizing. You share something you're ashamed of. Your therapist doesn't say, "That's not a big deal," or "Everyone feels that way." They say, "That makes sense, given what you've experienced," or "A lot of people struggle with that." They're validating your experience while showing you it's not abnormal. This removes shame without dismissing pain. It's a delicate balance most people can't do because they jump straight to minimizing or fixing practices. When someone shares something difficult, acknowledge it's real and hard, then gently normalize it. That sounds really painful. And also, what you're feeling is a normal response to an abnormal situation. Secret 6. Pointing out patterns without judgment. Therapists notice when you do the same thing repeatedly. But they don't say, "You always do this. What's wrong with you?" They say, "I'm noticing a pattern." When X happens, you tend to respond with, "Why? What do you think that's about?" No blame, no judgment, just observation and curiosity. This invites exploration instead of defensiveness. Watch for your own patterns. When you notice one, get curious instead of critical. Interesting. I do this every time. I wonder why. Secret 7. Ending sessions on insight, not resolution. Therapy doesn't wrap everything up neatly. Therapists often end right when you've hit a realization, even if you haven't solved the problem. Because the insight is the work. The resolution comes later when you sit with what you discovered. Most people try to fix everything in the moment. Therapists know that awareness is the first step. Change comes from sitting with awareness over time. When you have a breakthrough in conversation or self-reflection, resist the urge to immediately solve it. Just sit with the realization, let it work on you. These aren't manipulation tactics. They're communication tools that create space for truth and insight. Therapists use them because they work, and you can use them too. On yourself, in your relationships, in difficult conversations. You don't need a therapist to access these techniques. You just need to practice them. And once you do, you'll have the tools therapists use to create change. The secrets were never really secret. They were just never explained. Now, you know.